Hey guys, Caleb here with DSLR Video Shooter, and today we are looking at some more gear from Genustech. And today we're going to be looking at two items, both of which I think are really affordable and very well made. And that is Genustech's adapter bar system is what they call them. So there's two different kinds. There's the DSLR Adapter bar system and the Universal Adapter bar system. So let's start with the Universal. It really can take any camera on the planet and attach it to your rod system. So they have a couple very unique features. The first is that this thing can adjust for anything, height, side-to-side movement. There's just a point adjustment for everything. So just as an example, if I undo this screw, we can move it side to side, and it's very smooth, very easy to adjust. So you can offset your camera an extreme amount or just a little bit, and you can tighten that down. And then there are knobs in the center of each rod setup that allow you to adjust the height of the rods. So this is going to make it easy to offset them. And what's cool is they're independent of each other. So there's a total of 4 50mm attachment points. But what you could do is you could have this end be nice and low. This is much lower than the actual top of the plate. But then you could loosen this side up and raise that to the top. So really cool. You can do a lot with this thing. It is pretty big. I mean, I'm trying to think of what I could use to show you. But like that's a DSLR and a lens, 100mm lens, and this thing is bigger than it. So very large. And it's really designed more for camcorders, or if you had a C100, 300, 500, or an FS 700 or something like that, this would work really well with that. So up, down, left, right, any way that you could possibly think you need to adjust it, you can adjust it. The other cool thing is you've been hearing them moving around, but in the center here, switch to the other camera so you can see, there are these little sections in the center that move around. This is really cool because some cameras have two quarter 20 or a quarter 20 and a 3/8. So this is going to allow you to attach anything. And if you're not going to be using it, so like for instance, let's say I'm only going to be using 1 quarter 20, I can take this one down so that I only have this quarter 20 in play. Or I can attach a 3/8 thread and attach that. A lot of the Canon cinema cameras have that. So lots of points of adjustment, and you can lock these things down so they don't slide around. So really cool. And then underneath the unit, if I flip it over, you can see the knobs here for tightening and loosening it. And finally, if you flip the universal plate onto its top here, you can see that there are tons of points for adding quick release plates. And they give you, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter 20s and 3 3/8. So really going to be impossible not to be able to get any plate on this thing. So that is the Universal Bar System. It's kind of a different name, so I have to keep reminding myself what it is. Next, let's look at the DSLR bar system. This one is a lot smaller, as you can see, and I have to be honest, when I first saw this, I thought it looked really cheap and flimsy, but this thing is a tank. You would think this stuff would be bending around. One thing I've learned about most of Genustech's gear is that their aluminum is solid, so you don't have to worry about things moving around. Similar concept, a little different. You only have 2 rod points, so I can loosen these up and remove it. The Universal system does not come with rods, but the DSLR one does. So you get these 2 nice rods here. So you have the 2 knobs to loosen and move the rods around. You can move it all the way through. They've designed it so that it doesn't interfere with the actual camera mounted setup. So you only have the 2 rod points, but you do have the center unit here that is adjustable, and you have the knob underneath it for that. And then there's a little pin right here. Right now I have it screwed all the way in because my DSLRs, like most DSLRs, only have the 1 quarter 20. But you can loosen that, and then that's going to give you that stud that you can attach to most other cameras as well. So we have that just like the other unit. Does not have 3/8, just quarter 20, but you could adapt that if you needed to. And then we have the knob right here, which can be a bear to loosen. and that's going to give you the height adjustment for the rods. So you can lower them, so you have it really low, or bring them all the way up. And if you loosen up the same knob, you have left and right movement. The only problem with this is that if you're going to go left and right, you have to have the rods all the way to the front, or else the unit's gonna bump into them. But this allows you left and right movement, which is really critical with DSLRs, because if you use a battery grip, it's going to offset your camera just a hair, so it's a real pain to deal with matte boxes. So this thing is going to be perfect because you have up, down, left, right, and it's just really flexible, really nice unit to use with your DSLR. And then if we look at the bottom of the unit, we have a 3/8 and then 3/4 20s. So this is going to give you lots of opportunity to attach various quick release plates and things like that. The other thing I really like is they actually give us one more 1/4 20 on the back of the unit. So you could run a monitor arm off of this, or what have you. So all in all, those are two solid base plate systems from Genustech, and they're really affordable too. This one for the DSLR runs around $220. And for the flexibility, I think that's bomb. That's awesome. And it's really going to be a flexible tool that you're going to be able to use for any camera, really. And then, of course, the universal base system is a little more expensive at around $266, I believe it is right now. But that thing is a tank. You're really going to be able to get any camera on this on the planet. So two solid tools from Genustech. I'm reviewing a bunch of gear from them, so you can watch more of that stuff at DSLRvideoshooter.com.